Chapter 8, Other Income. Find a way to bring in some extra money. Get some extra. I knew someone else who decided she would like to get herself out of debt. She decided that inside 1 year, she was going to have paid back totally everything in her life, down to the spick and span new car she had bought recently. She went and got a job as a bartender on top of her day job, pitting away every cent after taxes and utilizing it to pay down the outstanding balances on her accounts. She temporarily put all investing on hold, including retirement shares, to accomplish the goal she had determined she would accomplish. What she has accomplished in short order has been absolutely astonishing. With 6 months to go, it appears that she is going to easily get to her goal. By bringing in more money into the equation, she was able to blend cost savings from her regular job. She as well did away with her cellular phone, cable, and a lot of other unneeded items to have double the effect. Once this self-imposed financial diet is over, her monthly revenue will go up by as much as several $1,000s without a single supplementary hour of work. In effect, she gave herself a pay raise. In spite of raising her youngsters and working 2 jobs, she likewise recently enrolled in college to go back and acquire her degree. The point of this story is a mighty one. There is absolutely nothing you cannot achieve if you center yourself and are willing to take on the sacrifice necessary to accomplish it. In her case, that's going to mean a year of around-the-clock work to give herself a fresh balance sheet and more beneficial job opportunities. A long time from now, I'm willing to bet that she will look back and recognize that this 12-month period was what allowed her to go after her bigger goals and dreams, which include establishing her very own business. As the age-old saying goes, till the pain of staying the same surpasses the pain of change, you're unlikely to move. I hope it doesn't take that for you to get empowered and free yourself from financial slavery. Chapter 9, Bankruptcy. In the domain of personal finance, the big red button, the atomic option, is taking bankruptcy. Some info. Charge card companies, many of which are possessed by banks, have a lot of priorities. The first, naturally, is to yield profit for the parent company and its share owners. You might actually be a shareholder through the mutual funds you hold in a 401k account without even recognizing it. When it becomes evident that somebody might be unable to pay his or her balance, there's a priority shift that happens that may work to your advantage. The bank or charge card company becomes concerned with one matter and one matter only: getting as much of the balance back from you as conceivable and closing or restricting your account. How come? This lets them avoid charging off the amount on their earnings report, which would cause their stocks to fall, management to get lower bonuses, and maybe even dividend payments to stockholders to be reduced. If you declare bankruptcy, it's possible that the entire credit balance will be annihilated because charge card debt is called unsecured in most all cases. That means that it isn't backed up by any specific collateral, just your promise to repay. This would be the worst case scenario for the charge card company. If you've missed a lot of payments already and your credit score has been hit, all it takes is a series of calls to the company explaining that you are earnestly considering bankruptcy, but you want to avoid that. You would like to make good on as much debt as you are able, but frankly, you don't know if it's conceivable. Then offer to pay off 25% of your charge card debt balance over the next few months in exchange for the company freezing interest costs and closing the account. You might have to spend several hours or even days on the phone working your way up the system. The point is, you need to drive home one concept. You're on the brink of declaring bankruptcy, but you prefer to avoid it at all costs. Tell them you're taking a loan from your in-laws or cashing in your 401k or whatever other tale you need to think up to get them to believe that you're coming up with everything you potentially can, and this is the best they can hope for, as the alternative is likely nothing following a discharge of the debt in bankruptcy court. If you are able to convince them of that, you have a very good chance at reaching a charge card debt settlement agreement. There are hardy costs to a charge card debt settlement agreement, and it comes in the form of exceedingly bad marks on your credit score. If you're already missing payments, however, this is unlikely to do any extra damage in a particular sense, as you aren't going to find individuals that are willing to loan you money with past due accounts, at least not at a fair interest rate anyhow. The bottom line is that a charge card debt settlement agreement may be an effective way for you to avoid bankruptcy court, the charge card company to regain some of their money, and both parties to start rebuilding the damage done to their balance sheet and earnings report from the fiasco. Likely the biggest thing stopping you from considering it, if you're truly desperate to get control of your finances, is pride. It's not worth it. Suck it up. Take the temporary pain and start getting your fiscal life back on track. There's a large minority of Americans that lives free from charge card debt. There's no reason you can't be among them. As a last resort, there is bankruptcy. In a lot of cases, it is possible to be totally blot out charge card debt with a bankruptcy filing, or at the very least have a court-ordered restructuring of debt that gives you breathing space to repay your balances and get your life back in order. The opportunity price of such a move is that your credit will be totally destroyed for up to 10 years, with most of the legal injury taken away after 7 years. For a few, bankruptcy truly is the best and most effective alternative for getting rid of charge card debt. It allows you to begin over almost like hitting reset on a computer game. One of the drawbacks to think about is that the bankruptcy rules that were put in place by the charge card lobby during the Bush administration may force a lot of middle or working class workers to file Chapter 13, reorganization where you pay off the debt from future net income, rather than Chapter 7, liquidation where the debts are wiped out totally. United States Congress is currently working on laws to alter this, and there have been some changes already. Intelligent charge card companies understand this. That's why it is sometimes possible to get them to drastically lower your rate of interest merely by explaining to them that you would like to repay your debt, but unless the current terms are altered, you see no choice but to declare bankruptcy. You might have to stay on the telephone for 3 or 4 hours and keep escalating from supervisor to supervisor, but at the close of the day, you have a really very good chance of breaking down from 30% interest to 13% interest. If you are emotionally depleted, want to begin over, and are willing to go through the process of bankruptcy, look for a highly regarded, specified bankruptcy attorney in your area. They're able to explain all the drawbacks, expenditures, and advantages and procedures to you. In a lot of cases, it's better to just begin over and start reconstructing your life. Wrapping up, the number of people carrying charge card debt has been steadily increasing in recent years, and the choices for dealing with this liability might vary from person to person. In addition to not being able to pay down rotating bills, consumers are progressively racking up more debt on multiple accounts and holding higher amounts on each card every year, with the average amount achieving higher than $10,000 per card. For many consumers, this rotating obligation has become a serious problem that's endangered their financial future. Now is the time to get a handle on your charge card debt.